Welcome back, and in today's video we will follow the journey of this aquarium ecosystem ball that is behind me from day one until today. At this moment it is 120 days old, and also I'm going to discuss how much money it cost me to build something like this, how much time I spend every week on maintenance, and maybe if you are brave enough in the future you can build something similar. So I hope that my advice and expertise will help you. First, let's have a look at the equipment I used in building something like this. I used the glass aquarium bowl and the light. So basically that's it from all the equipment. Inside this bowl I did not use filter and I'm not using heater. The glass bowl itself is a little bit less than 10 liters. If I remember correctly, it is 9.5 liters to be more precise, and that is like 2.5 US gallons. And the plan originally was to build something bigger, but I was unable to find bigger glass bowl. I would like maybe something like 20 or even 40 liters, that is 5 and 10 US gallons, but I was not able to find bigger volume, so I had to get this glass bowl. The price of it was around 30 euros. The light itself attaches with a magnet to the glass, and it is only 1 watt, and it runs 12 hours a day. The light itself was around 20 euros. And it is important in a system like this to have lower light, actually the lower power of the light, in this case it is 1 watt, and longer photo period. In a system like this I did not use a filter, so it is important for the plants to grow because they are doing much of the filtration that the filter is supposed to do. If you do not wish to buy this kind of light, or if it's too expensive for you, you can use any kind of light, but as I mentioned, it is important to have a longer photo period of at least 10 to 12 hours, and for the light not to be too strong, otherwise you are going to run in problems with a lot of algae. The aquarium soil that I used is old. If I remember correctly, it is around 12 months old, and if you are planning to use new aquarium soil, you will have to do a lot of water changes in the beginning because the soil itself will leach extra nutrients to the water. In my case, the soil was old, so from day one until now, 4 months later, I still didn't do any water changes. The only thing I did was topping off of the evaporated water. As I said, I did not pay for the aquarium soil, and I would recommend you to do the same, to use any kind of used aquarium soil. Regarding the plants, for most of them I use trimmings and cuttings from my other aquariums, and the only plant that I paid was Marsilea hirsuta. That is a plant that I used as a carpet, and I used only one pot that I paid 5 euros. So all the other plants are free. I did not pay for them, and I would recommend you to do the same if you have at least 1 or 2 aquariums, to use the trimmings from your aquariums, and it will help you to create something like this. The plants that were used to build something like this are mostly fast growing plants, and the reason why is because they will outcompete the algae. I never had any issues with algae since day one, and I still didn't do any water changes. The reason was because I had floating plants that are important. In this case it was only one floating plant, that is Pistia. I'm removing it weekly because it is blocking the light. And apart from the floating plants, I had a lot of fast growing stem plants, and the only plant that was let's say growing slower is a carpet plant in front, Marsilea. The maintenance of something like this is extremely simple. We can divide it in a weekly maintenance, and then is monthly or whenever needed. On the weekly basis, I'm removing the floating plants, Pistia, because it will block the light to the lower plants. So weekly I'm just removing couple of floating plants. Also I'm adding or topping off the water because the water is evaporating, so there's always a few centimeters missing from the top. So far I've been adding tap water, I've been measuring TDS, and it is staying steady. Even now, 4 months later, it started around 150, and it always stays in the range of 150 to 155. In case that will increase, I will continue adding RO water with the TDS of 0, because as you know, or maybe you don't know, in a system like this, the TDS will build over time, but for this to happen, it will take a couple of months or even years. So far, I've been monitoring and everything seems fine. The maintenance I've been doing monthly is trimming of the plants. So every month I would just trim a couple of plants. I'm still waiting for the pearl weed in the background to take over, and then I'm sure I will have much more time to spend on trimming. In 4 months I cleaned the algae only once, and I had some issues with the brown algae, and I cleaned it with a brush from the front glass, but this kind of algae is always normal in the new systems. So regarding maintenance, that's all. So I would say every week it takes me anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, and on a monthly basis 5 to 10 minutes. If you take into account that this small volume of water is without filter, then the stocking of it should be also very simple. The animals, or actually to be more precise, organisms that arrived with it, are a couple of snails. It's mostly mini ram's horn snails and bladder snails, and there is a lot of tiny microorganisms that arrived with the plants, like copepods, ostracods and other tiny microorganisms. The only thing that I added are a couple of neocaridina shrimps that I had extra. If I remember correctly, it was 6 of them. They are still alive. You can see one at the bottom. And I did not feed this aquarium since day one, so it's been 4 months without any input from me, without me adding any food inside, and they are still alive. I did not see any buried females so far, so hopefully in a couple of weeks or months, if I'm lucky enough, I can expect some shrimplets. I did not add any fish, and I'm not planning to add it because the volume of the water is not big enough. And if you really want to add fish, then my advice would be to find a bigger bowl of at least 20 to 40 liters in volume. That would be 5 to 10 US gallons. And when you are in that range, then you can start thinking about adding fish. If I really wanted, I could add maybe a couple of fry, because I have a lot of breeding going on. I have a fry that are just a couple of days or weeks old. Then I could add them here, but then the issue is when they get bigger, I need to catch them, and as you know or you don't know, catching fish is not always easy, so that's why I decided to go only with the shrimps. That's all for this video, and hopefully I didn't forget anything. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section, and see you in the next one.